I used to believe love was simple. You meet someone, they treat you right, you fall in love, and the rest is just logistics. Wedding planning, building a life, managing in-laws. But that was before I found myself crying in a cafe bathroom while my fiancé's brother waited outside because he just told me he was in love with me. And the worst part? A piece of me wanted to hear it again. Aaron and I were the golden couple. That's what people called us. Tall, polished, professional. He worked in finance. I managed events. We met at a corporate conference and hit it off over bad coffee and a fire drill. He was charming, ambitious, respectful. Textbook husband material. When he proposed in Santorini under a full moon, I said yes before he finished asking. Everyone cheered. My mom cried. His father toasted us with a speech that ended with, "Welcome to the family, sweetheart." And I was in. So deep, so sure. At least, until Tyler walked back into our lives. Tyler, Aaron's younger brother, had always been the black sheep, a wanderer. While Aaron climbed the corporate ladder in London, Tyler disappeared into jungles and humanitarian work, sending the occasional email from remote corners of the world. I met him only once, briefly, at a family barbecue. He had messy curls, a lopsided grin, and dirt under his fingernails from helping their mum plant trees. He shook my hand and said, "My brother's punching way above his weight." I thought it was charming. I didn't know it would one day haunt me. The day Tyler returned, we were hosting our engagement dinner. Everyone was gathered, parents, friends, distant relatives. The wine was flowing. I was glowing. And then the door opened, and there he was. Taller, leaner, tanned and weathered like someone who lived with stories carved into his skin. And those eyes, warm, dark, intense, found mine in an instant. I smiled politely, but he didn't return it. He walked straight up to me. I shook it off. I had a wedding to plan, but Tyler lingered. He offered to help with errands, drove me to floral appointments when Aaron got caught at work. He showed up with pastries from a bakery I'd once mentioned in passing. He remembered how I took my coffee. He knew I hated lilies. He asked questions no one else asked anymore, like how I was feeling, what I was afraid of, if I was happy. Aaron, meanwhile, was slipping into distance. Work, stress, mood swings. I chalked it up to the pressure. I made excuses, until I stopped needing to, because one evening, as I stood in the garden, waiting for Aaron to get home from a late meeting, Tyler walked up behind me and said the words that tore everything apart. "I wish it was me." I didn't turn around. "Don't," I whispered. "Please, Tyler." But he stepped closer. "I can't help it. I've been in love with you since the moment I saw you at that barbecue, and I thought I could stay away. I really did. But the closer the wedding gets," I finally turned. He looked ruined. "I can't pretend anymore," he said. My chest was burning. My heart was pounding. My brain was screaming, "No, no, no." But my mouth said nothing. And that silence, that moment, changed everything. I pulled away, told him this wasn't okay, that I was engaged, that I loved Aaron. And I did. Or at least, I thought I did. But that night, I couldn't sleep. Not because of guilt, but because I kept wondering, what if Tyler wasn't wrong? I started seeing Aaron with new eyes, noticing things I brushed off before, like how he dismissed my ideas when we discussed the ceremony. How he said things like, "We're doing peonies? Isn't that too basic?" when I've been dreaming of them for years. How he hadn't kissed me without checking his phone in weeks. So I started testing them, both of them. I asked Aaron if he remembered the name of the book I said changed my life. He said, "Wasn't it that?" I asked Tyler days later, casually, over tea. He looked at me and said, "The Midnight Library, because you said it made you rethink your entire 20s. I felt sick. The deeper I went, the more I realized I was spiraling, but I couldn't stop. I checked Aaron's phone when he was in the shower. I hated myself for it, but I found nothing. Not at first, until I checked his deleted folder. There, tucked away like trash, were messages from a woman named Jade, photos, flirty comments. And then, wish you could spend the night. My blood ran cold. I didn't confront him right away. Instead, I printed screenshots, and then I waited. Tyler texted me one night, "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to complicate your life, but I still mean every word." I stared at my screen for an hour, and then I did something stupid. I asked him to meet me. We sat in his car for hours. He didn't touch me, just listened as I poured everything out. The doubts, the messages, the ache in my chest. He didn't say, "I told you so." He just sat there, jaw tight, eyes shining, and then, softly, "You don't owe me anything, but if you walk away from him, don't think you're walking into me. Walk into yourself. Choose you." I broke off the engagement the next morning. Aaron called me dramatic, said it was just texting, that he still wanted to marry me, that I was overreacting. I showed him the messages. He said it wasn't physical, it didn't mean anything. And for the first time in months, I smiled. "Exactly," I said. It meant nothing, and I deserve more than nothing. The wedding was canceled. My parents were confused. His parents were furious. Tyler, he disappeared. Out of respect, I think, or guilt, or maybe to protect me from a scandal that wasn't mine to carry. I spent the next 3 months rediscovering myself. I dyed my hair, started therapy, took a solo trip to Portugal. I cried on cliffs and danced in kitchens. I journaled a lot, and I stopped blaming myself. Because here's the truth no one tells you. You can love someone and still outgrow them. You can plan a future and still walk away from it. Then one day, a letter came, handwritten, no return address. It read, "I hope you're dancing in the kitchen somewhere. You were always meant to dance." There was no signature, but I knew. I didn't respond right away. I sat with it, let it breathe. Then, one crisp October morning, I got in my car and drove 6 hours to a little coastal village Tyler once said he loved. I found a cafe overlooking the sea, and there he was, reading, wearing a jumper 2 sizes too big, hair messy, smile, tentative. He looked up, saw me, froze, and I said, "I don't know where this leads, but I don't want to wonder anymore." He stood up, walked toward me, and held out his hand. Not to own me, not to claim me, but to walk beside me. That was 2 years ago. We live quietly now. No grand gestures, no fireworks, just mornings with tea, shared books, quiet laughter. "Aaron, I heard he married someone else. Good for him. Me, I chose love that sees me. Not perfection, not performance, just presence, just truth, just Tyler, and I'd choose it again, every time." Sometimes, I sit by the window when it rains and let the silence wrap around me like a familiar song. I think about everything that had to fall apart just so the right pieces could come together. I used to mourn the version of myself that planned a wedding with Aaron. That girl with the checklist and the color-coded folders. That girl who believed that love was about stability and image and saying yes at the right time. But now, I don't mourn her. I thank her because she got me here. She had to walk through fire so I could find my voice and my peace. Tyler still laughs when I forget where I put my keys. I still roll my eyes when he makes tea too weak for my taste. We fight sometimes. Real, messy, human fights. But we always come back. We always sit at the table. We always choose each other, even when it's not easy. Especially when it's not easy. Because love, real love, isn't about who checks the most boxes. It's about who stays when the boxes are burned in the ashes, unsure of what to build next. He stayed, and I stayed. And now we build something new every day. No more tests, no more doubts, just us. Still here, still choosing, still home.